Some stories don't just entertain us, they bring us together. And no story does more than this one. This is Omeschronicles. Hello everyone, this is Will, the DM. I just wanted to say thank you for listening to the show. And if you're enjoying the show, make sure to subscribe or follow on your podcasting platform of choice. If you have any feedback or want to ask a question or comment about the show, you can either come by on Twitter or send an email to omeschronicles@gmail.com. Links will be in the description for both. And I think that's it. So let's get back to the show. The group, having returned to Harborpool, confronted Arnold at Gower's cartography shop. And, with their compatriot Vendetta still missing, they lay the plans for their future actions to be taken. Tobias outside of Gower's house, and inside is Zudora holding Arnold, basically like suspended in the air, and Kat, Falco, Jack are still inside. What are people wanting to do with Arnold? At this point, he is at your mercy.
Well, we're going to use him for to set up the buy, right? Or the deal.
I think Tobias is going to disguise himself as Arnold.
We could totally kill him.
You could,
or we could turn him in because I'm a Templar.
Well, what sounds better to him? What is he like?
Would you rather spend the rest of his life in a Templar prison, or would you rather die right here and right now?
It's a fair choice.
I mean, of those two choices, right now Templars aren't really holding prisons.
No, I've seen what the Templars do. He wouldn't. Either way is a death sentence. Do we have to kill him? Like, I know he did some fucked up shit. He's killed someone else that we needed, but I think we've scared him enough to compliance, and what if we need more information from him later?
We could also tie him to, like, a lamppost. Like, high up.
Tying him up, yeah. That's...
But, like, put him on public display.
Pants him and leave. I like it.
What does Arnold look like as we're discussing this?
I mean, scared, like, fearful. Like, I mean, he's probably to the point where it's hard for him to speak. He's being held by this mountainous blue mass of a man. I don't know if he has an opinion to share, other than hope he doesn't die.
I don't think we should kill him. He lost his occupation, and he was trying to survive. Yeah, he might have chose an off path, but there aren't many options for folks these days.
The ends do not justify the means.
And that, sir, we disagree on. She kind of smiles.
I want to come back in the building now and go, all right, now that you're finished. Oh, I'm surprised. I thought you were just going to kill him immediately.
And then at that moment, I'll take a dagger and slit his throat.
I don't want to throw him to the side because I don't want blood on me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Not aggressively. I'm just going to toss him down.
No, I thought you were like he's like Mortal Kombat.
Full power
becomes
into
dust.
a bookshelf.
Yeah, just sends him into the wall. Oh.
Well, I guess that was decided.
I guess you slit Arnold's throat and he will slowly go within about 8 to 10 seconds. He'll just start gasping for air and then slowly go limp as Zudora puts him down.
I'll check his pockets.
Ruthless.
Hey, I was trying to...
He's still, like, choking on it.
Yeah, you can't call her ruthless. You're the man who just slit this dude's throat.
I was just trying to say we should, like, if that's the choice that was made, I was trying to vote that we didn't kill him, but if he's dead, he's not using the things on his person anymore, so...
At least let him die first before he started taking his stuff.
What's the difference? Maybe he'll die knowing that there is something on him that could help us. And he's like, at least they got that. Those fuckers.
Man, that's cold.
He has 46 shills on him.
Some cash.
Oh, he has a key.
I'm
also
assuming to the door we broke. I'll compare it to the lock of the door.
Yeah, that key does not fit in the door's lock.
Oh.
The door. We'll call air quotes
The door.
door.
Okay.
The door was destroyed last time. But
Is there do you mean the front door or the door to the room with the guy in it?
I was checking the front door to be clear, but
you check all the
Check
locks
all the
in
doors.
the house,
Okay.
and it does not work with any of those locks.
Is there anything on the key, like any signifier, or is it just a blank?
It's just
Stick
a
key.
it's just a stamped key. Yep.
What by stamped you mean like a pressed key?
Like yeah, it's like it's casting.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
hey, I'm taking the shills, and I'll show everyone that I'm pocketing them. I don't care.
All right. And I clasp my hands together. Are we going straight to the meeting site?
Well, it's 1 a.m., so we have a day. Or a little less than a day.
All right. Well, remind me. He was dropping off the
The
jars of blood.
urns of blood and there's a cart out around in this back like little patch area of the house where there's like a little garden. There's a cart where you would see it's like, just a human pull cart, and that he would put the jars in, put a blanket over it,
Okay.
take the blood, make the exchange. So it is the morning of the 7th. You guys do not have to. The meeting isn't until the night of the 8th.
Oh.
So you
okay.
kind of
All
have
right.
2 full days ish.
Yeah, we have the full 7 and then a half day. Have I gathered all the maps from the place?
Yes, they are a series of unfinished continental maps of Portus.
Okay. Well, I, for one, like to get some rest. We walked there and back to a place that had no point, got attacked, and found out that our guide was murdered. So, yeah, I think it's time to head in for the night, and we'll figure this out, whatever we're doing, in the morning. Don't think anyone will be looking at this place. Would we like to do anything with the 2 bodies here before we leave, or just leave them?
Leave him as evidence.
Okay, Mr. Templar. Kat starts going back to, like, making her way out. I'm like, I want to leave. Go back to the inn or whatever.
So what are we going to do with, and I kind of wave my hand around at the room.
Lock the door.
Leave it as it is.
I mean, locking the door is kind of a moot point at this matter.
Falco put his foot through a decaying door. So this door is
Right.
like,
yeah.
you could reach your hand into the other side
No,
and just
we fixed
turn
it.
the knob. You put the door up on, you literally lifted the door up and you're like, all right, Arnold, fix it.
Yeah, it's not really, it's leaning against the door frame. It's not really...
It's not.
It's
not
fixed enough.
Like if strangers passed by, they would see bodies and blood.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Only a body. The other body's in the locked room.
Second of all, Jack, if you were like any of the other Templars in the city and you were passing by and you saw this door, what would you do?
That was never my job.
That's not what I asked. Just think about it for a minute.
Well, if I saw a door kicked down, I'd probably go and investigate.
Exactly. That's the fear that I have.
And that's why we go find my nearest friend and tell them what happened here.
Right, but my fear is that if we're going to stage a trap, an ambush, we have no idea how far up this goes, first of all. And second of all, if commotion around this building starts happening, then the people that Arnold was going to meet could become suspicious that Arnold's dead body is found, and suddenly there is Arnold the next day at the location.
Kat kind of sighs, like, okay, you're not wrong, but got any way to fix the door at least, minimum? Because we could throw Arnold's body in the other room and clean up a bit. Cause
Yeah, I think that's a good first step. You said the windows were all covered, right, Will?
Yes, they were all covered by like leather, like flaps.
We can rip the back door and throw it on the front door.
You could do that.
There is no line of sight from the back door immediately.
So the back door, think of it as like the house is at the end of a streetway,
Right.
and then there is a small garden patch, and then there is the city wall. So a guard would look down, and he would basically only see like a couple floorboards into the
Okay.
back door.
All right. I think that's a good plan.
And we put the smashed front door on the back door, so then it still looks like there's a door.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we're swapping doors.
Swapping
So we're
doors.
swapping doors.
Oh yeah.
Camouflage, baby.
I don't know if it requires any sort of check because unless you destroy the door on its way to the front door.
We have the time. It's not a rush job.
So yeah, I will say you successfully, fairly easily can swap the doors around, especially since a door's like nothing to Zudora.
Yeah.
He can just lift them.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad Zudora's doing all the work.
He's doing the lifting. Someone else has to probably put it in. I don't know. Is Zudora handy with tools?
I've got Smith's tools.
Is handy with tools.
I don't want to take that many tools. Right, well, I don't do doors use pins back then, or in this world.
They use like hinges, like in pins.
Easy swap, no problem.
So you guys swap the doors. Anything else you guys want to do with the bodies, with the blood, with the little cart?
Do we want to prepare the blood urns on the cart? I guess maybe leave it. I don't want them to smell up, waft to other neighbors.
I will just say there is already a distinct smell
Okay.
from these neighborhoods.
When we walked in, we initially thought that it was all piss that we were smelling.
Okay.
Medieval cities aren't the cleanest of
Right.
places.
Smells are not really something you should be worried about.
I think we should at least toss Arnold into the other room so if someone happened to look in, check around back, they wouldn't see it immediately. Can I re-lock a door with a lockpick?
Yeah, you didn't break the lock.
I was just say, fuck up his face if they can't identify him.
It's up to you.
No, but I will be fine.
You have all the doors unlocked, Cat, because you picked them all. So you can just open the door, relock it, shut it.
All right. How does it look from outside?
From the street, where 99% of the people that would look at this house, it looks 100% as it looked the days before all this happened. So nothing new. The only thing that anyone might notice is obviously the back door. But the only people that would see the back door are Templar guards patrolling the tops.
Okay.
And they would just see, like, it kind of broken.
Beautiful. Looks good. Do we want to leave the cart here and pick it up later, or take the cart with us?
I think that's what we're gonna have to do, because I'd rather this. If anything were to happen, I'd rather jars and jars and jars of blood be found not with us than with us.
Perfectly logical.
So you guys heading to
The inn
Yep.
drop
that we were
anchor?
in before. Yep.
So you guys will spend your time walking to the docks, and by the time you fix the door, get everything set up, get to the docks, it's probably going to be around 3:30, 4 a.m. And you guys are extremely exhausted. And when you walk into the inn, it's just completely dead. Like, there is no one, but there is one dude basically just sitting at the counter, sort of just like, fiddling with stuff, cleaning glasses, just getting ready for the morning. And if you guys want, it's 7 shills per room. And the rooms are doubles, so.
I'd probably just get my own room so I can double up the beds.
Okay.
Classic. I'll just get my own.
I'll share a room with Falco.
Perfect.
Kat looks at who's left and gets her own room. She takes one look at Jack the Templar and is like, no. Alright, 7 shills, you said?
Yep. So if it's 4, and you guys have to sleep for at least 8 hours, you guys would wake up around noon-ish, 11 noon-ish of the 7th. So anything anybody wants to do for the day? Any place people want to go?
At some point in the day, maybe early or mid-morning, I am going to leave. I'm going to go alone, have a disguise self cast on myself, and scout out the area we're supposed to go to. I'm going to look like a random person, like a
Just like,
Stand
a
out,
collection of someone you've seen. Okay.
an average Joe.
Awesome. So you will head to the area that Arnold described as this. The normal people in town would probably call it like a dwarven ghetto. Past the poor district and sort of off near the university, there is this neighborhood that's the architecture changed from just like tall wooden buildings, a collection of some very small, compact, short stone buildings. And there's a sign that says New Vondor. And you look around, place that Arnold had described to, I believe, Kat. She made a map of, like a little picturesque drawing. You go to the location, and there is a alleyway between this entrance, like this sign, and this what looks to be some sort of tavern. The roof maybe goes up to like 6 feet.
Okay.
But it's just this small building that you can smell alcohol emanating from.
Are the people that are around here, are a lot of them dwarfs?
From what you see, there is no humans in the district.
I want
itself.
to duck into a hidden side nook and change my disguise to a dwarf, to a rough, delinquent-looking dwarf.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you form into this stout, very muscular, rough-looking dwarf. I'm presuming beard, tattoos,
Yeah, all
the
of
whole
it.
9 yards.
Yeah. Both, but also unassuming. You wouldn't be able to pick them out in a crowd.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you scout the area, and it's this thin alleyway where once you're in it, there is like if someone were to be on the north end and the south end of this alleyway, or the east and west, like 2 people block the entire. It's about
Okay,
the
it's a
cart's
thin-
length is
yeah.
about the alleyway. It's very thin.
Do I see anyone here at all right now? Anyone that stands out, I should say.
No one that particularly stands out. Sometimes you would see dwarves wearing like really battered dwarven armor, and they would walk into the bar for maybe 25 minutes, and then they would walk out. Like, they don't look drunk. You would just see every once in a while several groups of these armored dwarves walk into this bar, and then after a little bit, they'd leave completely sober.
They walk in drunk and leave completely sober?
No, they just walk in.
Oh,
Like, they
okay.
walk in, and then eventually you just see the same people who walked in. Like, they walked in, didn't get a drink, and leave.
Right. And is Dwarven just Dwarven?
Yeah.
Is Dwarven and dwarves common in this area?
They are common north of here. They're not usually found in the city.
In the city, right? But like in the area, in the greater area,
Yeah, in the great area, yes. This is the
a Dwarven
primary
area.
continent.
Yeah, okay. Then yeah, I would pick up Dwarven then. Dwarven is in my repertoire. Okay. The other thing I want to check before I go and check that out is there tracks in the mud? Not foot tracks, but like wheel tracks.
Yes. So, but there are so many, like,
So many. Right.
yeah, there's like, they're like the Skyrim, like, you know, the little Skyrim
Right.
carts you see.
Yeah.
They're like those. Like, you see them all throughout the
Like
entire
more
city.
like wheelbarrows.
Yes, yeah. They go all through everywhere in the city.
Okay, I will head on over to that bar.
Since you know Dwarven, you will look up at this little bar sign, and it'll say the Rusty Oak.
The Rusty Oak. Okay.
And walking into this tavern, obviously the ceilings, like, you would pretty much, as a dwarf, you would stick your hand up and then jump and you could touch the ceiling.
Right.
But if Tobias as himself tried to walk into, he would have to do like the Gandalf hunch over
Right.
all the time.
Yeah.
On the left side of the bar, as you enter through the door, on the left side of the bar, there's a whole bunch of tables and booths near the back wall. And on the right side of the bar, there's a entire bar that goes down the right-hand side. So it's literally all tables and then all bar.
Right.
And
okay.
there are collections of dwarves wearing this very battered armor, just sitting there. Some of them are, as you enter, some of them leave. Some of them are actually drinking. Some of them go and talk to an individual that you pick out it would be fairly noticeable. In sort of this back right-hand corner near the bar, there's this booth where the people who are entering are going and talking to him. And then and the conversations look of some sort of respectful manner. And then they would leave.
I'm gonna go up to the bar. What does it look like everyone is drinking?
Everyone is drinking. There are several of this, like, the symbol of the rusted oak bar. They are stamped into these kegs, and it looks like people are basically just drinking the one drink this bar has.
Drink, right. I'm gonna put down the correct amount for a drink, the standard amount, a shilling. I don't know how much things cost.
Yes, so the drinks here are 8 shills, and you will know why if once you take a drink.
Okay, then yes, I will put that down and ask for the basic.
Yeah, and it comes in like a huge, like you get a significant portion of this drink as well. And it's this dark, almost like completely obsidian liquor, and the foam that comes off the top the foam isn't even white, it's like a chocolate milk color.
It's like a dark ale.
Yeah, like a stout.
Yeah. I'm gonna drink that, and I'm gonna listen, not only the people directly around me, but see if I can pick it up anything further away.
Listening around, a lot of the people just immediately sitting at the bar, they're just having conversations about, like, the things that most people are talking about: politics, like what's happening in the city. They're talking about the price of, like metals and stuff like that. But when you focus your listening attention over to the table in the corner, another group approaches him. They look like they do some sort of like salute, and they do a dwarvish greeting, like a dwarvish military greeting that I don't know Tobias would fully understand. It's not common, like even common dwarvish.
Oh, the language you mean?
Yeah. But then they start speaking in just plain basic dwarvish, and they are talking about trying to find a group of people that can make their way to Denford to recover their archive. And it seems as people rotate through this table, these are like teams of dwarves trying to go out and be like, hey, can someone help us with this?
So 2 questions here. First of all, does this look like a shadow government, like a government in exile, like the government before the Templars arrived?
This looked like a military unit had lost their home and lost a very large battle and are recovering in the city.
And then the second question is, are they sending people out to find a group, or are these different dwarves that are offering to go and find it?
No, these dwarves are going looking for a group of people to go to Denford.
And do the group of dwarves, you said that they're
wearing their old battered armor.
All right. Give me a moment.
If Kat has something.
I would like to visit the post office.
Yeah, so you make your way to the central merchant district where you performed last. The cobble roads end up leading to the water fountain with the statue of the coal miner. The post office is along like a essentially like one large buildings that cut up into multiple businesses. You would see that there's like, there's the bookstore, and then to the left of the bookstore is the barber shop, and a few places down from the barber shop is the post office. And once you enter the post office, is there anything? Are you sending a package? Are you sending a letter?
I have 2 letters I'd like to send. One to Brandon Kane, informing him that our guide is unfortunately not with us anymore and how he'd like us to proceed. If there's like a higher cost for like urgent mail, I would pay that for that one. And then an additional letter to my mother and father back in Everfell.
The great thing for Kat is since both of these letters are going to Everfell, they use the same stampage. So you pay once, and they will both go. They will get there at the same time.
I would also like to check if I have received any letters at this office.
For these letters to be sent like on the next ship out to Everfell, it would cost you about 33 shills.
Yep, I'll pay the 32.
You write your name on a piece of paper and hand it to with the letters and hand it to the clerk. He'll go look for if you have any mail, and he will bring back a small wrapped package, like like what you think of as like the box with the parchment paper and the twine. He'll bring back one of those that's maybe the size of like 8 inches wide.
I will open the package.
You have a message from someone named Percival, and when you open this box, rip off the wrapping paper, there's no actual like letter inside. There is a cloth that is wrapped around what looks to be like a wand.
I quickly hide that in a bag, knowing where we are. Peek open the lid and she goes, shit, and closes it and stuffs it into a bag and thanks the clerk and walks out. Goes back to the inn.
All right. Cat heads back to the inn. Real quick. Yeah, we'll hop back over to the Rusty Oak.
I want to, whether or not I finish with my drink or not, probably not. I'm going to leave an extra 3 shills, and then I'm going to go talk to... You know what? No, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave the bar.
Got it. Tobias leaves the money and then leaves the bar. Any immediate place he's going to?
I'm going to meander about, and then I'm not going to beeline out, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to just leave.
Act natural.
And then at some point, I'm going to dip back into a hidden spot and change back.
All right. So if nobody has anything else they want to do, we can, if people want, we can skip to...
I want to have a conversation like that night, like at dinner or whatever, and I want to tell everyone what I saw.
You all make it back to the dropped anchor from whatever business you were doing. And you're sitting at dinner, and Tobias describes the terrain of the alley and describes the rusted oak and the dwarves inside of it with everything that he had heard about them looking for someone to find an archive.
In this conversation, I'm essentially saying that's a possible, depending on whatever we want to do next, that's a very interesting lead that we can follow down of a job that can be done. Do they look that they could pay a lot? Like that they were, I wouldn't say wealthy, but like this, that they weren't paying pennies,
Yeah, so just your few moments of walking around in the city, a lot of the nobility in the peasantry dislike the dwarves for very different reasons. But one thing you do know is that all of the armor that the Templars are being made is being manufactured by the dwarves. Like, they are their sole armors in the city at this point, and they are making killings on that. The dwarves came here looking for refuge and are now one of the wealthiest peoples in the city.
Yeah. Okay. So I set this out that could be but it sounds like a very potentially lucrative deal, and something that seems a lot lower than a bunch of people who are trying to buy human blood.
Well, our current quest is on standstill because our guide has lost his life. I have sent a letter to Brandon Kane asking how he'd like us to proceed, but obviously letters take time. So I don't see any harm in trying to find other things to fill our time while our main goal has been sidestepped for the moment. So if we feel like the dwarves are a worthy endeavor, and if they're paying decently, I wouldn't mind helping them out.
I'm not opposed either.
He mentioned the city of Denford. Denford is the other major city in the region. It is very much north of here.
Let's go.
Denford is a city on a lake that are near mountains. It's a human city near
Okay.
a range of mountains.
It took me a minute to realize what you meant by human city, but yes, I get it.
Yeah.
The city made out of humans.
It is a single human that is a city.
It's just Atlas.
It is just a flesh city.
I mean, I guess you guys are also still going on with the blood thing. We're still doing that.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Are we doing that?
I'm
what are we
down to
doing
get
with
involved with that. Because it's pretty bad that there's essentially some vampires.
Well, anyone can use blood.
Yeah, but who needs that much blood?
I mean, I'm not saying it's somebody good.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say it's someone good either.
I mean, I'm not. I don't care if it's vampires or just an elderly woman with a strange fetish. It doesn't matter to me. What I think is, before we hand this over, I think we should have a little bit more info about what's going on.
Well, we killed our only source of information.
Well, yeah, but he gave us. He wasn't a source of information, and by a little more info, I mean like go up the chain. He was some outside finger that they hired.
So if we can do this deal, get involved.
Well, no. My goal isn't to do the deal. My goal is to show up at the deal and see if we can extract anything from the people that we apprehend there. And then we can hand them over to the Templars and give everything over.
I agree that we need to find information about why Gower was chosen, because departed Arnold said that certain people become marks. The tongueless people go and kill those marks, and then he would show up to do his butchery. So was Gower random? Was there a particular reason? Is that connected to the fact that he was a guide on this quest? Things that could endanger us in the future. So, if that's so.
I'm still kind of leaning towards a coincidence of an old man who lives alone in a poor side of town. The perfect type of person to disappear and nobody notice.
This is true, but we won't find out unless we go to the source. So, I think we need to at least show up at the deal, see who we're dealing with. And I don't mind if you want to get the Templars involved after that, but this party needs information first and foremost.
Yeah, I think we can move forward now.
Do you want to fast forward till tomorrow, where the actual event is happening?
Yep.
I would like to, in my own room, study the package a little bit more versus I quickly looked and closed and threw it in my bag. But I'd do that before I went to bed.
So you're just investigating the entire package,
entire package, box, and then are there any design? What does this wand look like? Designs? Can I, if I wave it, does anything happen? Type stuff.
You will see that it's made out of almost entirely one piece of wood, and there are, I don't want to say dents in it, but there are chunks of it taken out in random places, small, it has been damaged over time. And at where the pommel would be, sort of on a sword, there is the initials P and A written on it.
Okay.
And when you wave it around, it does not blast bells.
Darn it, I'm not the chosen one. Okay, and then anything about the box it was in or anything, or nah?
The box seems, relatively unimportant.
Okay, she'd hide this in very inner pocket to herself. Doesn't want it in a bag somewhere that she would have stored a knife. She switches it out and puts this really close to her.
I feel like it's very implicit what would happen if you got caught with that. So
yep. And after seeing the town square and talking with the people outside the Templar office and all of that, she needs this, she wants to keep this, but she does not want to get caught with it, and goes to bed.